6 times Fs. In one cycle of supply, cycle at the load side. Clear? So first of all, I draw the one cycle of your supply here. So this is my sine wave, positive cycle. And this is my negative cycle. Here. And same way, exactly opposite diagram I do. First negative cycle. And then positive cycle. Here. So let's derive this frequency 300 Hz at the load cycle. So now first positive cycle of supply start. It means positive polarity here and negative polarity here. So primary of the transformer is with this polarity, and here 1:1 transformation ratio between primary and each secondary. So suppose here is the VS voltage, so across each secondary you get the same voltage. Here. Now here when this positive polarity comes at the primary side, so secondary side polarity is plus minus and plus minus like this. Here, it means A terminal is more positive as compared to B terminal. So now tell me, out of these 4 thyristors, which thyristor come into forward bias for the positive cycle of the supply with this polarity plus minus and plus minus? Yes, anyone? Which thyristor is forward bias with this polarity out of these 4? P1, P2, N1 and 2. Yes, anyone?
P1, P2.
P1, P2. How? Let's see for the P1. Here is a positive terminal. A is positive terminal. Now this positive terminal is connected with the N1. So it means that P1 is in forward bias. Okay. Now let's check for the N1. Positive connected with the cathode. So it means it is a reverse bias. So it means N1 will not start conduction during the positive cycle of the supply from this 2 anti-parallel thyristor pair. Now let's check for this P2 and N2. Now P2 thyristor, you can see that B terminal is negative. It is connected with the anode of P2. So it is forward bias or reverse bias?
Reverse bias.
Okay, so P2 will not conducting during the positive cycle of the supply. Okay. Then N2, B terminal is negative. It is connected with the cathode of N2. So it is forward bias. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So it means what? Out of this 4 thyristor, only P1 and N2 will conducting during the positive cycle of supply. It means during this positive cycle of supply, only both this thyristor P1 and N2 will conducting. But at a time, only one thyristor is conducting. When you require the positive load voltage across the load side, at that time conduct the positive group of the thyristor, because when P1 is conducting, only that time you get the positive voltage. Let's check this here. So first at the output side I require the positive output voltage, so I provide the gate pulse to only thyristor number P1. Clear? So at this point omega t is equal to 0, I provide the gate pulse to P1. So current is flowing from A terminal P1, A terminal of the load and O terminal. So current is flowing like this way in clockwise direction. So it is a positive direction of current from A to O, and polarity of the load voltage is also positive. And how much voltage across the load? This secondary winding voltage come across the load side. So this positive terminal A comes here and this negative at O terminal. So now your V0 is equal to what? Vs. It is a positive voltage when P1 will start on. Clear? So first, when I require the positive cycle at the load side, I will turn on the P1. So you can see here, I get the positive voltage. But at omega t 1 point, I want the negative voltage because output frequency is what I require is 6 times Fs. In this one cycle of your supply, this one cycle of your supply, I require the 6 cycle at the output side. It means what? In half cycle of supply, 3 cycle must be completed at the output side. Clear? So up to this point, omega t1, I will turn on this p1, and thereafter, after omega t1, I require the negative output voltage. So I will provide the gate pulse to thyristor number N2, because positive cycle from 0 to pi, only P1 and N2 is in forward bias. Clear? P1 gives a positive voltage and N2 gives a negative voltage. So after omega t1, I will turn on this N2 thyristor, so that what will happen? Now current is flowing from O terminal, because this is a positive terminal with respect to B. Load A terminal, thyristor N2 and B terminal. So you can see that the direction of current is this one, clockwise, yes or no? But it is a negative direction of current because current is flowing from O to A. Positive direction of current is A to O. Clear? And you can see the voltage polarity at the load side. O terminal is positive with respect to A terminal. It means like this one. It means your load voltage is what? Becomes now negative when N2 will start conducting. So you can see that after omega t1, when you turn on this N2 thyristor, your output voltage follow the same envelope of supply voltage, but it is negative. Clear? So that's why here I draw the negative envelope of the supply, because when N2 will conducting, it follow the negative cycle of the supply. Clear? All of you clear up to this point? Is there a doubt?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Anyone? Is there a doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So now tell me, here at omega t1, already P1 is in convection mode, okay, between 0 to omega t1. Now at omega t1, when you conduct this N2 by providing the gate pulse, so what happened to the P1? P1 is remain continuous conduction, or you require any force commutation, or naturally commutated? Yes,
The
what will
force
happen to
commutation.
the P1? Yes.
Force commutation.
Yes, it is required the force commutation. Why? Because at omega t1 you can see that your supply voltage is not 0. Clear? Your supply voltage at omega t1 is at this potential. Clear? So it means that when you require to turn on the N2 at omega t1, at that time forcefully commutate the P1 thyristor by any of the force commutation circuit. We already learned the different types of force commutation, type A, B, C, D. Okay. So use any type of commutation to turn on this P1 by forcefully. Clear? So it means that in the step-up cycle converter, you require the force commutation. Then we will see in the next topic, for the step-down cycle converter, we not require this force commutation because natural commutation will happen. Clear? So because of that, here at omega t1, we forcefully turn on the P1, and then after we turn on this N2, so we get the negative voltage up to this angle, which is called as a omega t2. Now after this omega t2, now I require the again positive voltage. Now you can see this here, from 0 to omega t2, one cycle is completed. Positive and negative. Here, I require the 3 cycle in this half cycle. Same way 3 cycle in this negative cycle. Here. So after omega t2, I require the positive voltage and your supply is again spin is positive, it means again turn on the P1 thyristor. Clear? So at omega T2, forcefully commutate N2 and turn on this P1 by applying the gate pulse. So again current is flowing into same direction. This is a positive direction and positive voltage. So that after omega T2, my output voltage follow the envelope of positive voltage up to the angle omega T3. Here omega T3. Now again, this is, let's write down this P1 and 2 P1. Now again after this omega T3, my reverse negative cycle at the load side. So again forcefully turn off the P1 and turn off this N2. So now current is flowing into this direction. Current is negative, voltage is also negative. So that follows the envelope of negative voltage this way up to the angle omega T4. Clear? Now again after that I record the positive voltage. So forcefully commutate N2 and turn on P1. So again that follow the positive envelope up to the angle T5. And then after again turn on the N2, so that follow the negative envelope. So you can see that here P1 N2, P1 N2, P1 N2. Here, how many cycles? This is cycle number 1, positive negative, cycle number 2, positive negative, cycle number 3. So you can see that 3 cycles is completed in 1/2 cycle of your supply. This is the 1/2 cycle of your 50 Hz cycle. Here, same way in the negative cycle of your supply, you again get the next 3 cycles. Okay, but you can see that now when negative cycle of supply will start, what will change? Polarity will change. Here it is minus, here it is plus. So same way polarity also change here at the secondary side, minus, plus, minus, plus. So now tell me which thyristor coming to forward bias for this polarity? A is negative with respect to B. Yes? Anyone? Out of these 4 thyristors, which coming to forward bias? P1 N1 or P2 N2?
P2.
N1 and P2.
Yes, very good. You can see that A is at a negative terminal and N1 is connected with the cathode. So N1 is forward bias and P1 anode is connected with the negative, so it is in reverse bias. And from the lower side here, positive is connected with the anode of P2, so it is forward bias, and positive is connected with the cathode of N2, so it is reverse bias. So it means during the negative cycle of your supply with this polarity, only N1 and P2 come into forward bias. But again, when you require positive voltage across the load side, turn on the positive group thyristor, is P2. And when you require the negative voltage across the load side, turn on the N2. Clear? Both are forward bias, but depend upon the requirement of voltage, positive or negative, turn on that respective thyristor. Clear? So you can see that here, at this pi angle, before this pi angle, you just completed this negative cycle by N2. Clear? So it means that after negative cycle, again, what will start? Positive cycle. So to get the positive voltage across the load side, so you must turn on this thyristor P2. So let's check here. B is positive, connected at the anode of P2. So now current is flowing from this B terminal to P2 thyristor, A terminal and O terminal. So this direction of current is positive from A to O and voltage is plus minus. So this secondary winding voltage come across the load side and is positive. So it means that after this pi angle, at this pi, when provide the gate pulse to P2, that follow the positive envelope of output voltage. Clear? And at this angle T6, I forcefully commutate P2 because I require the negative cycle after that. and then after turn this N1. So you can see that at omega T6, forceful commutation of P2, so it will turn off, so voltage becomes 0, and at the same time, I will provide the gate pulse to N2 thyristor. So now my current is flowing into this direction, this positive to negative terminal P. Here. So now you can see the direction of current is negative and polarity of voltage is plus and this is minus. So you get the negative voltage after omega T6 up to this omega T7. Good. So this follows the negative analog of output voltage. So this is the conduction of P2 and this is the conduction of N1. Again, positive cycle will start. After that, so I will turn on again the P1 and forcefully commutate the N1. So get the positive analog up to this omega T8. This is omega T8. P2 conduction. Now again I require the negative voltage, forcefully turn off P2 and turn on this N1. So that follows the analog of negative cycles. Here, N1. Omega T9. Again I require positive, so turn on the P2, forcefully commutate N1. So get the positive analog, same way, then after N1. So now we can see that how many cycles we completed, same way here, this is positive and negative. So this is a fourth cycle, positive and negative we have completed, so it is the fifth cycle, positive and negative, so complete the sixth cycle. So you can see that in one cycle of your supply of 50 years, I get the sixth cycle. So it means I convert the output frequency at the load side 6 times Fs, it means 300 Hz. So that's why it is called as a step up cycle converter, and we get this frequency by using the midpoint configuration. So it is called as a single phase step up midpoint type configuration. All of you clear? Is there any doubt to anyone in this one? Yes? Anyone? Has any doubt? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, next topic is, okay, before that, first all of you draw this waveform for this frequency. So in the exam, you can ask for any frequency like this fifth time Fs, fifth time Fs, or maybe 10 time Fs. So depending upon the frequency requirement at the output side, your sequence of conduction of thyristor will change. Okay. So this is the waveform for the frequency of 6 time supply frequency. Clear? But maybe for this 10 Fs and 5 Fs, the conduction sequence is different for different number of cycles. Clear? Here 6 time Fs, so you get the 3 cycle and half cycle. If you convert 10 time Fs, so it means in one half cycle you get the 10 cycle. Same way negative cycle, again you get the next 5 cycle. So total 10 cycle you get in one cycle. If it is 10 time Fs. Clear? So in exam you can ask for any type of the frequency. It may be a 10 time Fs or maybe a 15 time Fs. Okay. So depending upon that you can do the waveform. Clear? And based on that frequency of thyristor will change. Clear? Now let's move for the next topic. Same waveform you can get, but by using the bridge configuration. This is a midpoint configuration. Then this is a bridge configuration. All of you please draw the waveform with me so that you don't take time. So I think all of you have learned this, understand this waveform easily. Okay, so let's draw the circuit diagram of bridge configuration. Say it is a step-up cycle converter. We convert this output frequency same 300 Hz. It means we get the same waveform but with a different configuration of cycle converter. Here. So this is called as a bridge type configuration. This is the supply. Here we require the total 8 thyristor, 4 thyristor for the positive group and 4 thyristor for the negative group. Here we connect the load. For both the positive and negative group, we have the same source of supply. This one, 50 hertz supply, AC. So this positive first terminal or positive terminal that is connected with the first leg here, and this negative terminal is connected with the second leg here. Here. So this is the connection here. This is the bypass and this is the connection. Let's give the name of this thyristor P1, P2, P3 and P4. It means it is a positive group thyristor. All the 4 thyristors. Same way here, this is N1, N2, N3 and N4. It means it is a negative group thyristor. Whenever you require the negative voltage across the load side, you turn on this thyristor. And positive polarity tells you this one, and positive direction of current is from A to O point, this one. Yeah. And this is the positive polarity of load voltage. Now here we have made the connection with the positive side, same way we make the connection with the negative side, with the same source of supply. So same source of supply is applied here. Positive terminal of this supply connect with the first leg here, and negative terminal, this one we connect with the second leg, this one. Yeah, so this is the connection here and this one here, and between that we connect the loop. So this is called as a bridge type of configuration. Here, this is a bridge configuration. This is also a bridge configuration. So what is the difference here? In the midpoint type, we use only 4 thyristor, 2 thyristor for positive group and 2 thyristor for the negative group. But here in the bridge configuration, we require a total 8 thyristor. Out of that, 4 thyristor P1, P2, P3, P4 for the positive group. It means it gives a positive output voltage. This is called as a positive group, and this thyristor is called as negative group because it gives a negative voltage across the load side. Clear? So with the same configuration, with this configuration, we get the same waveform. Clear? Let's check here. Here the numbering is different because here we use the 4 thyristor for positive group and 4 thyristor for the negative group. So here, same way, I convert this output frequency to 6 tan fs with this bridge configuration. So at a time in the positive group, I require to turn on 2 thyristor. So positive cycle plus minus here. So you can see that when positive cycle is here, P1 and P2 come into forward bias. You can see here. Positive terminal is connected with the anode of P1 and negative is connected with the cathode of P2. So in the positive group, P1 and P2 forward bias and P3, P4 is reverse bias within the positive cycle of supply. Within this cycle, positive cycle of supply. And from the negative group, you can see that positive is connected with the first stage here. So it means positive terminal is connected with the anode of N1 and this negative terminal is connected with the cathode of N2. It means from the negative group, N1 and N2 come into forward bias during positive cycle of supply, and N3 and N4 is reverse bias. Clear? So during the positive cycle, when you require positive voltage, turn on P1 and P2 simultaneously, so you get the positive voltage across the load side. And if you require the negative voltage across the load side, then turn on the N1 and N2. Clear? So let's check here. Positive cycle, provide the K equals P1 and P2 simultaneously. So current is flowing from supply positive P1, load P2, and then negative current. So polarity of the load voltage is what? This one, plus and minus. This is a positive polarity, and direction of current is from A to O. So this is also the positive polarity or positive direction of current. Clear? So when P1 and P2 is turned on, you get the positive voltage. Same way like this way. Clear? But difference is what? As compared to the previous figure, here two thyristors is conducting, P1 and P2 both. So let's write P1 and P2. That gives this positive voltage. Clear? Same way after omega T1, what will happen? Forcefully commutate P1 and P2, because after that you require negative voltage. Negative group, only N1 and N2 is forward bias. So it means provide the gate equals to both the thyristors simultaneously, so that you can see the current is flowing from positive terminal, then N1 terminal, load A terminal, N2 terminal, and negative terminal. So now you can see the current is flowing from O to A, which is a negative direction of current, and polarity of the voltage is plus here and minus here, means it is a negative voltage. So that's why after omega T1 here, you get the negative voltage, and that is because of conduction of N1 and N2. Both the thyristors are conducted. Clear? Same way, sequence is repeated at omega T2, forcefully commutate both the thyristors N1 and N2, and again turn on this P1 and P2 because it requires the positive voltage. So during this period, you get the positive voltage because of conduction of P1 and P2. So this sequence is repeated for the next cycle, N1 N2, P1 P2, N1 N2. Clear? So you can see that again you get the three cycles, same like a midpoint configuration. And negative cycle, when it start after this pi angle, it means minus here and plus here. What will happen? P3 and P4 come into forward bias, P1 P2 is reverse bias, and from the negative group, N3 and N4 come into forward bias, and N2 and N1 is reverse bias. But when you require positive voltage, turn on P3 and P4, and when you require negative voltage, turn on N3 and N4. So just before pi, negative cycle is completed. It means after the pi, positive cycle start. So you turn on this P3 and P4 by applying the gate bus. So during this period, P3 and P4 is conducted. Clear? And at this angle, omega T6 forcefully turn off P3, P4 and turn on this N3 and N4 to get the negative voltage. Yes, so this is for N3 and N4 conduction, this one. And again forcefully commutate this and turn on P3 and P4, this one. So this is repeated for the next cycle also. N3 and 4, P1, P3, P4, and N3, N4. So it means that you get the same frequency output voltage with the same waveform by using this bridge configuration also. Clear? But what is the difference here? In this bridge fashion, you require the you not require the center gap transformer here. You not require the center gap transformer. In the bridge fashion or in the midpoint fashion, you require the transformer. Clear? So depending upon this requirement, you can use any configuration, midpoint or bridge type. Clear? Generally, to make the compact size of cycloconverter, we prefer to use this bridge fashion because we not require the extra transformer because the size of the transformer is large. Clear? So for the compact size, generally prefer the bridge. Otherwise, if you design for the economical point of view, then you can use the midpoint configuration. Clear? But working on both this cycloconverter are same, both they give the same frequency output voltage frequency. Clear? So I hope all of you understand this single phase step up by both the configuration, bridge and midpoint configuration. All of you clear this one? Any doubt? Yes, anyone? Is there any doubt to anyone? Okay. So same way, yes.
So what are the applications of step-up cycloconverter?
See, where we require the higher frequency, as we see the different application, that for the speed control of the AC motor. Clear? So, as you know that, suppose in the industry you use the synchronous motor. So, synchronous motor speed is depend upon what frequency? You know the equation 120 M by P. Clear? So, synchronous speed of the motor that is depend upon directly frequency and number of pole. Clear? But once you design the motor, you cannot able to change the pole. So, only way to change the synchronous speed of the synchronous motor is by changing the frequency. Clear? So, suppose in the industry you are using the synchronous motor and you require the at different frequency or different speed, then at that time you can use this step up cycloconverter. Clear? So suppose your synchronous motor is operated at 100 rpm. Clear? But for the sometime you require to operate that motor at 2000 rpm. So how that increase the speed? By increasing the frequency of the supply. Clear? So in that case you can use this step up cycloconverter. Clear? Same way for the industrial heating. When you heat any object, for the particular application, you require the different temperature at different time. Clear? So the heat produced by this supply that depend upon the frequency. As the supply frequency is more, that will generate the more heat. Clear? So again, at that time you can use the step up. Clear? So depending upon the requirement, you can use for the different applications. Understand all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here I stop this lecture. In the next lecture, we will see the step down cycloconverter with the same configuration, midpoint as well as bridge configuration. Clear? I hope all of you understand this. If you are in doubt, you can ask the question. Otherwise, here I stop this lecture. Okay? And all of you please draw this waveform so that you can understand it. Okay? By just watching this lecture, you cannot understand it. So when I draw the waveform here, you also draw it by yourself. Clear? Then and then you can understand and you can able to draw this waveform in exam also. Clear? So here I stop this lecture. If you have any question, then you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave this meeting.